Hi, welcome to Art with Miss Dobis. Today we're going to learn how to make a sculpture that's known as a stabile. Alexander Calder is the artist who kind of invented that, or at least popularized it. He was born July 22nd, 1898, pretty much at the height of the Industrial Revolution, when big technology was big machines powered by electricity. Alexander, who is also known as Sandy, went off to college to be a mechanical engineer. He decided later that that really wasn't what he wanted to do, so he went and studied art. And in his career, he took his engineering knowledge and he developed new kinds of sculptures, like the kinetic sculpture, also known as the mobile. That's his. He invented it. These are a couple examples of his mobiles. Alexander Calder's philosophy on art was that it should be fun. He also bent wire and made sculptures out of wire, and played with light and created shadows on the wall. He called them his shadow sculptures. He was also a painter. He loved primary colors, and usually all of his artwork was done in primary colors, yellow and red and blue. They're very, very vivid, and they're very, very abstract. Rarely did he ever do anything that represented something in the real world. Here's a picture of him with a few of his mobiles and some of his stabiles behind him. And it certainly does look like he was having fun. Here's another one of his stabiles. This is a big metal sculpture welded together with bolts and also welding. Here's another one. They're big, they're strong, and they really just stand on a couple points on the ground. And this is what we're going to try to do today. So here's a couple examples of a few stabiles that I've made, and you can see that it's basically just standing on 3 points. And the point of interest in them are really how the paper is folded and things that have been added. We're going to try really hard to keep it simple, so let's get started. So for your materials, you're going to need something to write with, some paper that's a little thicker than just regular notebook or printer paper. Index cards work great. And you're also going to need a pair of scissors. Go ahead and fold your cardstock type paper in half. And since we're practicing, you don't need a big piece of paper. Go ahead and draw at the bottom next to the fold. Go ahead and draw, I like to use a hill or a triangle. You don't want it to be too short, but you don't want it to be too tall. This is a section we're going to remove. Go ahead and take your scissors and cut out that little space that you drew. You can set your scraps to the side. You might choose to incorporate them into your sculpture. You notice it has 3 legs, and on those 3 legs it will stand fabulously. So really at this point you can do anything you want with this little structure. I'm going to show you a few things to try. If you make slits and slots, you can add other features to your stabile. So I'm adding slits and slots to both the structure and what I'm going to add to it. I put a little bend in just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then go ahead and feed your 2 pieces of paper together. So this is one way that you can add interest to your stabile structure. And you can see from the top and the sides, it's a little bit more interesting than the flat surface of the paper. You can also use slits or slots to feed a long strip through so that the inside is also interesting. So I'm going to cut a long, thin strip. Through the slits. For another area of interest, changing the direction a little bit more, having it go out into space a little bit more. I'm going to fold it in the back, just something to, again, make it a little bit more interesting. You can see it from the top. It still stands up. It's still stable, still balanced. And you can see it's a little bit more interesting than when I first cut out the first piece and stood it up. So I'm adding a couple extra little slits. If you aren't familiar with origami, that is the art of cut and fold. So I changed the direction of the fold, so I have a little piece that extends backwards. That also will help to give a little bit more variety and interest. So these are things you can try. You don't have to do all of them. Sometimes you do too much. It's literally too much. But things to try. So I think I can make the back side of this a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to put in one more slot. If I fold my paper horizontal and I do a slot on that, it gives me a vertical slit. And because I did it while the paper was folded, I have a matching slit on the other side. I'm going to cut another strip. And I'm going to feed it through these slots. So the ends show up on the front, but in the back there's a nice bar, a vertical line. So this is my basic Stabile. These are different things that I do with mine. They're a lot of fun to make. When you make one, typically you want to make more. Here's another one I made that really isn't anything but reverse folds. Kind of looks like a bird. And you can see how different it looks from different views. Here's another one I did with a little bit more of the origami, the reverse folds. I have the band in the back, the little strip. This one was a lot of fun to make. I hope you're having fun trying this out. I hope you make several and that each one of them is a little different and you're a little braver at trying new things. Thank you very much for spending some time with me and learning how to make Stabiles. Have a great day. Bye.